Hi everybody. Today we'll see what is software requirements. As we have already seen in the previous lecture, requirements are nothing but which is the need of the customer. Okay. So requirements are nothing but which is the outcome or which is what the customer wants at the end of the software development process. Okay, those are called requirements. So to develop that particular item, you need small things whichever is needed for building the software is collected. Okay. So software requirements could be of two types. One is functional requirements and non-functional requirements. Okay, it defines these software requirements defines the functionality of the system, how it would functions, or it answers to the question of what the software will do. Okay, what outcome it will give, what is the input to the system. So whatever question you ask with what, it would be answered by this requirement, and it will not answer any questions asked with how, because requirements doesn't deal with how, it deals with what. Okay, it also defines the constraints on the system. Okay, so it defines the functionality and also it defines the constraints. Okay, so functionality is nothing but how the software functions, and constraints are nothing but what are the constraints prevailing in the system while performing this functionality. Okay, that's why we have two kinds of requirements. One is functional requirements and non-functional requirements. Functional requirements deal with the functionality and non-functional requirements deal with the constraints of your system. So here, see the diagram, how stakeholders think requirement gathering works. Okay, so here you could see that the requirements are nothing but it is not just available in the tree, you just pluck it out and put it in your basket. So requirement analysis starts from the vision about the system. So actually customer doesn't know what they want. Say for example, I'm going to build a software um, for a medical practitioner or to a medicine vendor. In that case, he might be well versed with his technologies or with his domain, but he doesn't know about the software's needs. So he cannot clearly give his requirements or need. So it is the role of the software engineers or the computer engineers who are collecting the requirements. They are normally called as analysts. They should put forth the questions in such a way to the customers and get whatever the inputs they need. Okay, that is the main thing needed here. So normally prototyping is often used for this user interface. So the outcome of all these requirement analysis phases, software requirement specification. So requirement analysis is nothing but collecting the requirements from the customer. So there are two types of requirements. One is functional and non-functional. You collect the requirements from them by means of how you would collect the requirements by means of putting forth questions or giving some questionnaires to tick and mark or asking showing them the prototype and showing the end result. So in so many ways you could collect requirements from your customers. So what there are so many misunderstandings in the requirements. So here if you could see that what are the pictures there show eggs, a glass of milk and a bottle. You could see all these three items. Say here a mom said, honey, please go to the market and buy one bottle of milk. If they have milk, if they have eggs, bring six. So here, this is the statement given by the mom. So the person went there, came back with six bottles of milk. She said, why the hell did you buy six bottles of milk? She said, because they had eggs. Can you understand what it is? Here, the mom has told that, honey, please go to the market and buy one bottle of milk. If they have eggs, bring six. This bring six doesn't mean, it is not clear that whether the six denotes the eggs or six denotes the bottle of milk. Okay, so you could see here, so your statement say this is a requirement statement. Honey, please go to the market and buy one bottle of milk. If they have eggs, bring six. அப்படிங்கிறது. If they what the mom is trying to say, if there you buy a milk, if there are eggs, get some 6 eggs as well. That is the meaning of the statement which she wants to convey. But the statement is not clear. So similarly, requirement should not be like this. It should be very clear and precise that whoever reads the requirements, they should clearly understand the requirement. There should not be any sort of ambiguities in your requirements. Your requirement should be clear, consistent, correct, and misambiguous. Unambiguous. Okay, those are the things needed while writing your requirements. So here, next stage is software design. It is a technical description about how the system will implement the requirements. So how you convert your requirements into your design. The system architecture describes how the system will be decomposed into subsystems, and it will also show the responsibility of each modules, interaction between the modules, and the platforms and technologies which you use. Okay, so your requirements which has been collected in the previous stage is converted into a design or an architecture or a model. Okay, so here the right side diagram is you could see, if you want your thing to be cheaper, what happens? The back side is a horse and front side it is just a line diagram of it. So how your software would be like this at the end of the year, if you want to make it cheaper or if you reduce the budget of your project. Next is construction. Construction phase is nothing but developing or creating the software, or it is also called as implementation phase. It includes internal method design, you write the code, you test it, and you also do your testing and debugging, all those things together, and integrate the modules. Okay, so these are the things you do during your development phase. Okay, bakery. There is a in the bakery they have told that day old bread 50% off. Okay, if your bread is getting older, it becomes cheaper. Computers, day old software 75% off. That's how it is. So your software will get obsolete quicker. Okay, you should develop a software such a way that it lasts long. Next phase is testing, is nothing but checking whether the developed software conforms to your requirements. It aims to identify defects. So the normal testings done are unit testing, integration testing, and system testing. Unit testing is nothing but testing each and every module, where the unit testing is repeated again and again until the unit or the module is perfectly correct. Next, the unit tested modules are connected or integrated. After integrating, again testing is performed. System testing is nothing but the whole system is tested at the end, whether you get the software what you have expected. Okay, so is that the tester and developer are same? Mostly will not be, because a person who is developing a software will find it difficult to locate the errors. Okay. Next is debugging is aimed, it is nothing but aiming to find the source if already identify the defect and fix it. Fix it is nothing but correcting it. So normally it would be done by the developers. So if you find the defect in the code, identify the source of the problem, then you identify the exact place in the code and you correct the defect, then test it again to check whether it is fixed. Next, coding is not equal to software engineering. That is the main thing you have to know. Inexperienced developers consider coding the code development. No, not at all right. You have so many phases: analysis, design, coding, testing, maintenance. The coding phase is not software engineering. Coding is only 20% of the project activities. The important decisions are taken during analysis and design. If your analysis and design are perfect and correct, you will have your end product also perfect and correct. Documentation, testing, integration, maintenance are often disparaged. Okay, so you clearly note that software engineering is not just coding. Similarly, programmer is not equal to a software engineer. Okay, I have given an assessment over here. I think you could do it. Sorry. Requirement phase defines the functionality of the system. Is it right? Requirement phase defines the functionality of the system. Is it right or wrong? It's right. What are the two main types of requirements? I have told that requirements deals with two things. So what are the two main types of requirements? Okay. Next is answer the question what, not how. Which one answers the question what and not how? Software construction phase is also called as dash phase. It has another name. Outcome of requirement analysis phase is what? Okay. So these are the things you have to know. Okay, I think you might be very clear with the phases of software engineering. Thank you all. Have a good day.